With the transition of working in an office to working at home, you might have experienced a few aches and pains. Joining us now to talk about how we can mitigate this discomfort, we have Dr. Adam back with us from Foss Spine and Wellness. Hi, Dr. Adam. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Okay, everything is kind of turned upside down. Our worlds are, we're teaching our own kids at home. We're working from home. Let's just start with some of the basic complaints you're hearing from some of your clients.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And it's been a really common thing. A lot of people coming in saying, hey, I've transitioned working at home. All of a sudden, I'm experiencing things that I've never really felt before. Some of those really common complaints that we're hearing about is the big one is neck pain. People who've never had neck pain all of a sudden are getting that neck tension and mid-back tension. And eventually, after a week or so, they're saying, wow, all of a sudden this neck tension is really starting to develop a headache. And then the other one on top of that is people starting to really experience some different shoulder pain as well from being in a rounded position with that poor posture.
Are there some things that you can do at home to, help with some of these symptoms? I mean, coming into your doctor would be the best option, but what are some of the things you should maybe stop doing and maybe some of the stretches and things you could do to help?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is taking the easy steps that you can to kind of modify that workstation to set yourself up for the best possible way to mitigate some of those symptoms. The biggest thing that I start with telling people is, first and foremost, make sure that the chair that you're choosing is something that's going to allow you to have good posture. One thing that we talk about is a lot of times we want to go work from couch. The luxury of working from home allows us to sit in that couch, but what that does is it really rounds out our lower back and doesn't allow us to have that nice lumbar curve, which we really need to be pain-free. The chair is one huge thing, but also being able to have a chair that you're able to have your feet planted flat on the ground, because that's going to provide some other lumbar support as well.
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, sitting on the couch, even sitting in the recliner, not ideal with how your body is going to be placed when you're working on, say, your laptop.
Exactly. And that's one thing, too, with working on a laptop that can create some different challenges. I know everyone doesn't have the same setup. And one other tip that we give people is if you are working on a laptop, trying to find that position where maybe it's putting a few books or a Rubbermaid container underneath it to really raise the level of where that monitor is, trying to have the monitor near eye level so that we're not sitting in this flex position, which causes extra strain on our neck.
Okay, that's a good point. I know I was kind of jumped ahead of you there a little bit because I know sitting on the couch, sitting in a recliner, chair is number one. Make sure you have good posture. And can you expand on having your monitor, maybe you have a desktop, maybe you're working, with a pen and paper. There are a lot of other things to consider as to your body placement when you're working on things.
Definitely. Like I stated, really making sure that you can raise that monitor up. However, with raising your monitor, if you're working on a laptop, that's also going to bring your keyboard up as well. So the one thing to think about if you're someone who's going to be doing a lot of typing is making sure that that keyboard is in a position that it's not going to force us to have our shoulders raised up and hunched, because over time that's going to create a lot of tension throughout our shoulders and neck, leading to some of those headaches and things that we talked about.
Okay, so we can probably avoid a lot of the pain if we just have the proper setup. But we're a couple weeks into this. A lot of us have already done the damage at home. Are there any things that we can do at home to kind of relieve some of the pain or stretch out those sore muscles?
Definitely, and I'll give you three basic things that most people can do and most people can get some pretty good results with doing them at home. The first thing is consistently reminding yourself, one, to have good posture, but focusing on squeezing your shoulder blades together throughout the day. What I mean by that is over time, what happens is we kind of get into this rounded position with this poor posture. So what we want to think about is almost squeezing our shoulder blades together so that they're able to touch one another, pause, and then relax. Going through this position, squeezing, pause, and relax, is just a constant reminder from your brain to body, kind of reminding, hey, those postural muscles need to be engaged and need to be keeping us in that good posture position. That's one way that you can do it. Another thing that you can do as we get stuck in that forward head position where we're looking down if we don't have the correct setup is it really rounds out our neck. and kind of a silly thing to do is to give yourself as many double chins as you can. I know it looks silly, but what we want to do is create those double chins, because what that does, if I show you from the side, is it kind of mitigates and combats against that forward head posture. We talk with patients that for every inch forward that your head goes, that basically adds 10 pounds that your body's trying to support holding that up.
Okay, this is the only time I'm going to say okay to a double chin, but it makes sense. It does. Okay, and your last one before we have to go.
Last one would just be a basic pec stretch, and that's trying to stretch out the muscles right on the front side of your armpit. One easy way that you can do it, I'll try to show you in a seated position, but if you go up against a door frame or a wall and hold your arm at 90 degrees with your elbow slightly above your shoulder, then you're going to put that up against the wall and just rotate away, and you should feel a nice, easy stretch that should start to happen kind of right at the front part of your armpit. It should not be painful. It should be a nice, easy stretch. And try to remember to keep your shoulder down as you go through that stretching position.
I'm going to do all three of those when I get home today. And I'm working, outside of my home. So all great stretches. Quickly, before we let you go, how do people get a hold of you if they maybe need to come in for an adjustment?
Yeah, if you're looking to get a hold of us, one easy way is by phone, 218-233-8544. Or feel free to schedule an appointment online on our website at www.fswchiro.com.
Dr. Adam, great to visit with you. Stay healthy. Thanks for your time.
You as well. Good to see you.
Stay with us. Coming up on North Dakota Today, people are taking up all kinds of new hobbies during quarantine. Why not try to make some music? That's next on North Dakota Today.